Hello everyone, and I welcome you all to this short and simple video. And in this video, we are going to look at how to, you know, uh, reduce the number of files, or basically we will be talking about how I reduced my number of routes and manage things dynamically, and some of the other things about static routes and things like how to work with sitemaps and all of those things. I guess you will understand things better when I come to the title. So this is like one of my personal experiences, so that's what I'm going to share. So as you can see on my screen right now, that this is the project that I'm going to talk about. So this is my project, and what it is, I think you understand by looking at this. And other than that, what it is, I will be talking about it later in a detailed video sometime later. So let's not worry about it. Let's just understand what I want to share first. So this is the project that I'm talking about. It is open source. I think you can check it out. So I think now you can see it clearly what I want to show. So this was my previous version, and this is my current version, right? So what is the difference? As you can see here, this is right. First, basically, it is a file converting tool. I think you can tell it from seeing this. So initially, what I was doing I know the from, and based on that, I'll generate. I will keep an array, right? Something like this. I used to keep an array, and let's say 1, 2, 3, whatever the format it supports, right? Corresponding to this, like for example, MP3. So whatever the corresponding conversion it supports, I used to put it in this array, and based on the request, and like if the, for example, if the from and to, so if the request kind of matches this from and any one of these two, so I would just redirect them to that converting page basically. So that was what I was doing. So if I may show you the code, so it is nothing, it is pretty simple, right? This is the primary format and this is the supported format. So that is how I was operating, right? So that was kind of my old approach when I was learning about Next.js, and it was kind of pretty naive solution, I would say. Then other than that, in order to maintain that, the path, for example, like MP3 dash to, for example, say AAC. But the issue was that that you can have this much, but you cannot put something like this, right? It is something like a two star, something like this, right? This is subject to change, so you cannot put something like this on a string, right? You have to do something like you can put something, you can name one of your app routers route name to this, and then you can, inside this, you can put a format or a dynamic, for example, ID, and you will get, and then you can put your page in here, right? So this would not be exactly like this, but this is the closest that you can get. So in order to get this part, right, in order to get this A to star, you have to use something called rewrites, right? So that I was using, that was what I was using actually. So you can understand what I mean is, for example, when you go to your Next.js configuration, and if I just click on view all files, so if you can see it here, right? So this is the part I'm talking about. If something comes like this, you will redirect it to this, right? So basically whatever the request is coming onto this, so we will just transfer the request to this. Get it? So that was my previous solution, and later on, like right now, I came to realize that this is not the most elegant solution of all time, and I think things could be a little bit more better. So for that matter, I switched to this one, and again, due to this, I was generating multiple files, and this was pretty good for me to have the sitemaps and all of those things generated externally pretty easily. So that was what I was doing, using any free service and generate my sitemap, right? For example, this website like xmlsitemaps.com. So that was what I was using, and this is the sitemap it used to generate. So now come to the the better solution, that I think it is much more elegant. For example, inside my app, I just put this ID sort of thing, right? And this is what and kind of I'm just reading this, that if it is the format of A to B, and then this is our from and this is our to, right? So you can do it pretty easily with regex, or just split it using that this value, what you say, that dash. So I think that's not our concern, right? uh, so I created this route, and inside this I just uh, you know as you can see, if this matches to this pattern, then okay. Otherwise, just if it doesn't matches this pattern, just return empty. For example, I'm showing it in the metadata, right? So don't worry about that. This is that's what I'm doing. From and to you will get from here, and you can do that. So what is this, I will tell you. Okay. For the page I'm just redirecting. I have made another page, and I think showing that one will be more elegant. So I have made another route, right? That is called route that I have created. And to maintain this, I'm just kind of redirecting every traffic from whatever the traffic is coming to this route. And because it looks more elegant and more understandable for anyone. So essentially what I'm doing is based on the like pattern, if it is matching, otherwise just return unsupported format, or the URL is invalid. And based on that you will get to and from. And if the conversion does not exist, right, I have an array of conversion that is pretty important. I will show it to you right now. So if the conversion it will try to find in the conversion, like the corresponding pair exists or not. And based on that it tries to like find it. And if it doesn't find that, it will just return this unsupported format. And based on that, I have made a converter. Like for the time being, I'm dealing with 3 formats, and the document converter is coming pretty soon. So I will share about that also when it will be ready. So for the time being, this is the render converter, right? So this is the type it will take. And in order to make it work, I have created this you can see this is the type, right? For each conversion I have the from and to, and metadata. This is from next. Yeah, you can specify your metadata. So I have just created at this point of time, this is a little bit monotonous in the sense that I don't have any personalized metadata for each of the pages. But I think it works for the time being. I will have to figure out a better approach for having different sort of metadata. So I will do that later on. But I have created a simple function that takes the from and to and type, and it returns a metadata, right? So it is like the description, like based on the case and all of those things, convert online and all of those things. And yeah, so this is the file. So this is pretty handy. But again, now the issue was when I was trying to go to the sitemap, right? What was the issue? That it was not showing all of the routes, right? Like whatever the routes I have created based on the file, it should be showing all of them, right? So it wasn't happening at that time. So at that time I have to put this thing. Okay, first of all, I have to show 2 things that you have to put so that you can get your static routes, right? First of all, you have to generate static params, right? So this is nothing but if you understand a little bit about Next.js. So if you go to the Next.js, right, documentation. So like to statically generate routes at the build time, or of instead of request time, right? So you can pre-generate the request route. If you have the idea that what are the routes are going to be, so you can generate it beforehand. I beforehand know that what are the formats that I support, so I can pre-optimize the things. So that's what I did, because I know that these there are only finite number of formats that exist. Case where you have a dynamically updating database, right? Everything is constantly changing. So in that case, generating static route may not make total sense, but again, it comes to your choice, right? So that's what I'm uh, telling you. So that's what I did. I generated static params based on the formats, this format, and this format is going to be this A to B, and all of these formats are coming from the arrays, right? uh, from and to, this is the format, and this will generate all the static paths. Okay, and this is the part that is the most important thing, right? You have to add exactly as is for Next.js and Vercel to understand that this is meant to be static, right? You can put here force dynamic also, and based on that you can see the configuration also. Now let's talk about managing of the sitemaps, right? So Next.js also, this is the reason why people use like the full stack tools, because it offers many small but useful things that you generally don't find elsewhere, right? So that was the case also here. So for example, in order to generate sitemap, what I was initially doing was generating the sitemap from any external website and then putting it here. As you can see, this is my old version, right? So this was I think it is working, but it wasn't the best of all. And like, in order to have, when I need to generate things dynamically, I don't have that. I have to update it and then put it again in the public file, the updated sitemap, and then I have to go to the search console and then update there also. So there were like 3 to 4 updates. So in order to avoid that, Next.js recommends this, right? In your root, like just inside your app folder, in your app router, you can just put your sitemap.ts file here. And based on your requirement, you can configure your metadata based on your metadata, or whatever you can say it here. Basically, okay, I'm talking about this metadata route. You have to export things in this format, right? Metadata route dot sitemap, and based on that you can generate an array. And again, as a small trick, or whatever you can say it, what I'm doing is I have created a set of routes, because I don't want to have duplicate routes traveling down the sitemap, because it is a little bit confusing for the search engines, right? So don't worry about it. So I have created a set, and then created an array. So that is what I'm doing, and this is the configuration. What it does essentially is it will put a sitemap.xml in your public directory by itself, right? Whenever the last time you have pushed into the production, right? So for example, if I just right now I'm going to the this my sitemap, so you can see it, everything is here. My old routes are also here, and my new routes are also here, right? Because I have put it here, because see, this is my old routes, and if you will find my new routes are also here. Why I did the both of them? Because the old routes are indexed into the search engine, and getting rid of them is not I would say recommended, because out of the blue you will use your indexing, and if somebody is visiting your website, they will find 404. So what I'm essentially doing is, just if somebody hits to that route, you will be just redirected to this newer route. And for that also, as a good practice, what I have did is, in order to redirect, you can just redirect just normally, but I have chosen to use the permanent redirect, or redirect of 308 redirect code. What it does is, it maintains the format of the request, right? If it's a get request, it will maintain the get request. If it is the post request, then it will try to maintain the post request. I think that's the difference between other 300, 301, or I think 307. But don't worry about it. But it is recommended to use permanent redirect if you want to permanently redirect and kind of put that in the mind of your search engine. So I think that helps, I guess. So that's what I have done here, right? If the conversion is valid, then kind of just redirect it to the file. Otherwise, just redirect to this route. Otherwise, just return an unsupported format. This is nothing but a land 404 page. So that was about my experience, that how I refactored my code. Like if I go to this and this, so you can see side by side. If I open this, so now you can see side by side that what I have done, right? I have just reduced it to 2. Otherwise, if you don't want, then you can just I could have just avoided this convert dot for slash format, because you may not need it, but I was having the need because I wanted to have a better semantically looking page, so that's why I put it there. So I hope you liked this video. I think the video has been quite long, and I will try to cut it out in the editing. But I hope you liked this video, and I will try to be more regular, and I will put some more content in the channel. So till then, keep watching and subscribe to the channel. Bye bye.